Business roundtable time. Got a couple coming on. Zach has made it back. Welcome, buddy.
You there?
I'm there. Can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome sauce.
Had my volume down.
I think Mike's going to be trying to jump on here in a few. I got a buddy of mine named Ruffles who might be joining us I don't know if he's going to join us today.
Ruffles?
Does
Ruffles have ridges?
No, he's I don't want to call him rotund, but I wouldn't call him the apotheosis of physique either. He's very dad bodish like me. Hey, Mike made it in. Hold on, Mike, what's up? Hey,
speaking of dad bods,
I'm not realizing.
Fat dad bod.
Look, I saw you at the meeting yesterday.
Hey.
You joined the gym. I heard. We're going to be turning that around.
This morning at 6 a.m.
Fantastic.
I've been going to 5 a.m. classes.
Good job.
6 a.m.
Good job.
But probably take a minute. I've been going for about a month. Maybe 2. I don't know.
I need to figure out something for me.
I don't know.
I need to figure out something for me. Always feel so busy.
Where you live in Greenwood?
Yeah. And it's not really that I'm busy. Busy is just an excuse.
Yep.
I think my buddy Mike's joining us.
Come on in and when I go to right up by Home Depot and Lee Summit.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's I see you, Mike. I see the top of you. You
need to clean that vent out.
Yeah. What's up? Where's your sound, bro? I don't have sound from you. Mike's going to figure out the sound. While Mike's figuring out the sound, just say, hey, when, we'll see if you got it. Now we're looking at your keyboard. It's all coming together. Oh, he's going to try again. So,
Mike's
as
having
Mike
some, Bloody Marys for breakfast and on the snow day, maybe.
That would be a change for Mike, but not necessarily. All right, he's back. We're still waiting sound. I don't have like the sound button that I usually get with everybody else. Like I can mute you if I need to on the back end here. So,
he's really making me look good on the tech side.
There you go. We all need it. We all need a friend like that. We all need a friend like that.
Dude, I just told a guy earlier, I got this deal setting up where I'm going to do some webinars and stuff. So I had this company that's going to set it up. And I told the guy, like, I could slay. I used to slay on Windows 2000. Like, I was the tech man back then. This shit passed me by now. It's
no.
I don't know
what that is.
Yeah. You're not that young.
I'm still definitely the tech guy. I mean, I do have a whole sound studio in my basement.
Cool.
So, I mean, obviously, got the big mic
come over and cut some records.
Speaking of that, so he's setting up a presentation for you. What do you like, a webinar, or what do you mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna do webinars, home buyers webinars, like for home. They've got a system all set up where they run a bunch of like Facebook ads, and
I just did a webinar or was on a webinar for somebody who did that yesterday. I was on there thinking I could use it. I forgot what his name is now, but there was a bunch of realtors and mortgage people on there. Pounds. Is that Bradley Pounds? Yeah.
Brad.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Making connections already.
Look at that.
Dots. It's beautiful. Well, Mike got an error message that said his sound is denied. So,
whoa,
he's working on that. Yeah, I don't know.
Denied.
I asked him if he had a laptop that will work. I don't know. We'll see if Mike can make it back. Also told Zach that I got a buddy named Ruffles who might be joining us, but probably more like next week that he'll be joining us. So we're slowly growing the group, man. If you guys know anybody that wants to come join, talk business type stuff, like by all means, have them in, invite them. let me know. I'll send them the link too.
Okay.
So, well, we'll just go ahead and get with it and let Zach or should I let Mike introduce himself so you can finish? We'll let Mike go first.
Yeah, I got a full day, so I'm having to squeeze in
your lunch.
Yeah.
I know how that goes. Mike, why don't you tell us who you are, who you're with, and do that deal.
Mike Foot Summit Lending in lovely downtown Snowy Lee Summit.
Wouldn't it been great?
We do mortgages. I'm the mortgage man. Lender to the
king of the
stars.
mortgage.
That's what I tell everybody. Loan officer to the stars.
There you go. There you go.
I've been doing it a long time. So just plugging along, trying to make a buck.
Very good. Very good. Anything good going on in the mortgage world?
Waiting for the next bust. Well, positive. The new administration is going to lift some regulations. They've shut down the CPFB.
Yeah. CFPB, I think.
Or I don't know. They shut it down, but they've CFPB.
Yeah. What's that?
But they've consumer finance.
Yeah, it was set up after.
It was set up during
financial
Obama
crisis.
set it up. Yeah, and it's basically, for lack of a better term, it's basically
an agent.
Financial justice, social justice for lending, and it makes all these insane regulations that make your interest rates higher because all of these companies have to have all these extra whole attorneys and compliance departments and stuff like that to do all of their ridiculous new stuff. So I was really excited when they said they shut that down.
Question, Mike, when it comes to that stuff, making things more expensive for the customer with the CFPB, did those things come out in the interest rates all the time, or do some of those things come out in like title processing and those fees?
I would say it's going to cost the lender, right? So it's going to cost the lender that money because the title, it probably comes out in title stuff because they have their own compliance stuff that they have to do, but theirs is a little bit different. Ours is like they have compliance departments, and the regulations that they put in and stuff a lot of them are just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, no. So, I remember because I was in financial planning when Dodd-Frank passed, and I was also doing health and life insurance when the Affordable Care Act passed, and immediately saw deductibles double.
Right.
like as soon as it went live, it was like every deductible that I was,
they were on the other end going like, ready, go, pow.
Yeah, exactly. And they all just went bloop, doubled like in an instant.
Yeah. And they did the same thing with the CPFB though. They just like they put in all of this social engineering stuff and those, whatever. Like I can't even deny a loan like anymore. If somebody denies a loan, and I never did deny them, but like I tell you, I can't do your loan, turn your loan down. And so you go to the thing, and the underwriter turns it down officially, but it has to go back and like someone else has to review it and see if it's really turned down, if it's really denied. Like, just stuff like that. Like, so it's
a whole other.
And you have all the regulations on.
They don't have that at the SBA. I don't think they ever had that there.
No, they just turn those down.
Yeah, it's just
they just blow that out. But but that's just because they probably I don't know how long it's been since you got one there, but those are commercial things, so those are different. But like it's all in residential, and they switched everything to QM, which is a qualifying mortgage, which is a regular conventional FHA, whatever VA, and then they go. Then they switched anything else. So the funny thing was they tried to get rid of all these other loans. That's what they said caused the crash, right? It was us out here in the streets that caused the crash. It wasn't Wall Street bundling all the shit up and selling junk. It wasn't them. It was us. And they all got rich and half of us went tits up, right? So they put these qualifying mortgage in there. So now it's a qualifying mortgage, and they have to prove the ability to repay. you have to make sure they have the ability to repay, because if you don't, then maybe they're going to jeopardize your ability to foreclose on them. If they come, that's the first thing they're going to do is get an attorney, and that attorney's going to come back and say, well, they never did have the ability to repay, so it's on you. You can't foreclose on the house. And like they just put these ridiculous guidelines in there. And so then they went to non-QM. So now for the bank statement loans and the DSCR loans and all that stuff, like those you can still do those, but now they're non-QM. They call them non-QM, non-qualifying mortgage. So it's like all that stuff's there. They just put hoops to the hoops, and it's ridiculous.
I'll be interested to see how much. I'll be interested. I'm going to ask you about this in a few months.
I was hoping, where they had mentioned it. I think Elon Musk mentioned it a while back. Well, but when they went after the Department of Education, and then they came right in there and did that, I was like, wow, that was fast. I was hoping, and
I'm going to be interested in a few months after, because the Fed has been pretty clear over the last couple meetings that, they're not going to be cutting interest rates a whole bunch this year. Maybe one. It went from like 3 to 2 right after the election to the last meeting. I think they said it may only be 1, which tells me that by the time you get to June, there may not be 1 at all. And so I'll be interested to see if interest rates come down because the cost of lending goes down, even if Fed rates don't change much. So I'll be interested to follow.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I think that'll be more of a long-term thing, because I guarantee you, like they're gonna try to stop it all. Like, I mean, Elizabeth Warren is running that.
Oh yeah.
So that's her baby, right? So that all of them are
there.
I mean, if you saw some of the stuff, some of the continuing education and stuff like that is ridiculous. And so like they're all they're all big regulation, make new rules every day.
Yeah.
That's
what they.
It's like, I don't know where the government got, what those people got. Like they don't think they got to show they're doing their job by writing new stuff all the time.
It's something along those lines.
New laws in, like this is what we do. It. Thank you. Please stop.
Right.
But
all right, Zach.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go,
Zach. Tell us about you. I saw you finished. So
I saw you're done.
Yep, I finished it. Nope. I help small businesses who want to grow their business, develop a strategic plan, and then develop a process to get in front of more leads, get in front of better clients, make more money, and increase their profits.
And I sat down with Zach after our meeting after our roundtable last week, and we went through the process, which was very enlightening. I've kind of narrowed down my focus. I'm not done figuring out the one thing that I need to work on immediately, but I'm bringing it all together so I focus a little more on those things. I've actually found a nice little spot here where I'm not too overwhelmed with a whole bunch of new clients. So it's giving me a little free time to, kind of re-coordinate my work day so that I focus on the things I need to focus on. So it was a very good and worthwhile meeting that I had with Zach. So what else is going on in the business coaching world? Like, what are new trends or anything like that? What are you guys looking at over there?
Well, a lot of businesses right now, obviously in wintertime, they are having a lot of people that are, I'm seeing a lot of people that are not necessarily my clients, but there's a lot of people, smaller business owners that are it seems like they're looking for more business right now. I think people have kind of tightened up the purse strings a little bit. It may not be like a mainstream thing, but I think things are tightening up because people are kind of waiting to see what's happening. Because people are looking for work. Primarily, I'm talking about like service businesses, which naturally slows down this time of year anyway. But
right,
and so what that says is they weren't doing things 4 months ago or 3 or 5 or 6 months ago to keep that pipeline rolling right now. And yeah, that doesn't always make sure, especially in winter, that it keeps rolling. But it's just it's a glaring light that you can show that you didn't do the work previous,
Porpoise.
And now
Porpoising,
now
we always call
now
it, because you're going like
it's showing up. And of course, next month,
porpoising. That's funny.
That's what we call it.
And then next month in March, I mean, the mortgage business is probably no different. It's probably going to start picking up because people start buying houses. Trades business, they're going to start picking up. They're going to start doing more business. Now, how much will that be compared to years past? I don't know. We're going to have to see. It seems seems like everybody's a little slower this winter than normal, and we're coming off election year, so a little understandable. But
I've noticed, because I was expecting a lot of. I think some of it is like the euphoria has worn off, right? And everybody's kind of like, okay, whoa, let's pump the brakes a little bit. It's still just living life, you know what I mean? It's like we're happy or or we're upset, but everybody's kind of like backed off of the initial euphoria of their initial reaction from last fall. And so I had like a huge boost in leads and new leads and stuff, through the end of November, right? It really kicked off in November, and then at the end of November with Black Friday and stuff, I got a huge amount of leads. Right after the thing that like surprised me, because I'm used to like most businesses where like you get that dead week after Christmas before New Year's, but for me that was one of the busiest weeks I had like in a month, all month long of December, because everybody had gone home to family, done the Christmas thing, talked to family, and they're all coming back and they're like, family wants to go on vacation this summer,
right?
And so let's start making a plan. So I started getting all these calls. I did not expect that, but then what I was expecting was a lot more business here through mid-January into February, because it's what in the travel industry they call wave season, and that's when like the majority of cruise line bookings take place. And it ain't been like
wave season.
Yep.
And that's January, February. That's their
high through the middle of March generally. But yeah.
What why, why?
I mean, for the most part,
I mean, not why it is, but why it's well, yeah, I guess why it is, one, and then two, why are we down? Is there any?
I don't know why we're down, and it may just be because, I mean, like a lot of my leads come specifically through my specialties, but I mean, I was expecting more at the end of the day. Right. And so maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe they're just not coming to the cruise line industry. I don't know. It just seems like it's a lot less than what I was told to be anticipating. And so I don't necessarily know why.
I think people are still in the wait and see season too, because it's we all know, or most people suspect, that what's going on right now is a good thing. You can't deny it. Wherever you lie, this Doge thing is good. Like it's doing good things, whether we go through with all of them or not. It's doing good things. But I think people are kind of waiting to see, okay, is it going to play out? Is this going to be real? Or are we like, or is the whole world, are we going to catch on fire? Like what's going to happen?
And you got a lot of people who are about to lose a job.
I'll tell you what's crazy.
The federal
government employs a ton of people, and a ton of people have been getting notices that you're out of a job, and that government job's a good job. I mean, it pays big money.
We're gonna have it's gonna be a little bit of a squeeze here for 18, 24 months. I just because of that, we're gonna have a flood of people into the market. It's gonna be tight before it turns, but I think it's necessary. I mean, like everybody's
saying. I mean,
I think what's crazy is that they found so much. So then I told my wife, I was like, okay, hold on. Like, so did he write some special thing where he's searching some special program where he's, Musk, like come in there and like did this, or would just nobody ever even look like that, like which one is it? Or a combination of both?
Basically the way I understand how things went down, I'm quite certain this took, like there was some serious planning time that went into this, but they repurposed an Obama agency that was completely.
That's how they got around creating an agency.
How they basically repurposed it and renamed it. It's all approved. It's all been congressionally approved. That's why they really don't have much of a line of defense. And basically the way based on what I've read, is that Elon came in and goes, well, there's a simple way to solve this problem. Let me see the payments. Just give me access to the payments. Let me see where the money flows are going. And as soon as he did, they're like, "Oh, that looks really weird. We're gonna go check out that agency."
That's always been the case.
Yeah.
Follow the money.
And I mean,
but then it comes out there was like all these missing, like they weren't filling in the
they weren't
blanks,
categorizing
they weren't
their
filling in what it was
expenditures or
for.
nothing. They weren't. Yeah, they were. It was just blank checks going out the door.
I saw a guy on a podcast, on a Sean Ryan podcast. I don't know if you know him or watch him, but there was that I don't know, that Navy SEAL that had converted to a woman and back to a man, or what, really weird deal. But anyways, he ended up working in the Pentagon, and he made the statement somewhere in that too, like, I can save, some ungodly amount of money. I don't remember how much, if it was 600 million or in the billions or whatever. He's like, I can do that in a week. And he was extremely confident that he could do that. And I think everybody just kind of brushed it off. But now it's like,
what? Spend it? Like,
no, go save it. Go like his statement is like, they waste so much money.
You can find it all.
Unbelievable. I could walk in there in a week and save them this amount of money. And it just kind of flowed through. I mean, I caught it because I was like, well, that's a pretty extravagant number. But now I hear, this is happening. You're like, okay, well, he saw it back then. How many other people saw it back then? And just nobody's just doing anything about it, or was allowed to. And that's, I think,
what they're doing is sending it to their buddy and doing other stuff, because that's like their next thing is they're talking about, like, I mean,
it's become a big money laundering operation.
Like, well, shit. Like, absolutely, because those government have good benefit jobs, but a lot of them don't pay as much as out in the real world. And a lot of people, like, I was in the military, and what I noticed was that the lifers, the guys that were in there for life, and I was stationed in Chicago, right, in the Navy, nowhere near the ocean. So we were and it was like the guys that were there and that were lifers were just, I mean, lazy as shit. And then those guys transition out and they get the same job as a civilian, and they come in as a GSA worker, as a civilian. They make more money, do the same thing, and they're just fucking lazy. And so it's like a lot of this, they do the minimum, whatever. They know they can't get fired.
I don't think people realize how much this is going to affect. I mean, it like your daily business, your day-to-day business. Because I think it's going to have massive trickle-down effects, like down the line. Like you know how people say you do things with good intentions, but you get the bad consequences. I forget whatever the saying is, but I got a feeling we're going to have consequences, and I'm not even saying bad, like good consequences.
I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be.
But I don't think we know what they all are. You know what I mean? I think we're going to be shocked by ways that this improves our day-to-day business. I mean, as business owners, as consumers interacting with businesses, opportunities as consumers and business owners to profit. I think those things are really going to change radically as this major change in the way our government works.
I think the ones that stay, like if if 70% of your coworkers get fired and you made the cut, like they're probably going to be like, oh shit, I better do my work. And there's a lot of them that probably are doing their work. But like if for an example, like COVID, like I bought a motorcycle in 2021, I think it was 2022. I don't remember, but title thing was wrong, right? Something on the title was wrong. It took me 60 days to get the title. But you call up there, you call the state, and it's like you're on hold for whatever. God, it was like 45 minutes I was on hold. Get a girl on the phone. Oh, sorry, COVID. And I'm like, bullshit, you guys suck before COVID. Like,
right.
You're not any faster than you were. You're not any slower than you were. You're just using that shit as an excuse. Yep. And
it makes for a good excuse.
So I think there's going to be a lot of that, and I think there's going to be a lot of the ones that dodge the bullet are going to be the ones that were really probably doing the work anyway, and B, they're going to be like, come in a little bit, have my shirt pressed, maybe look a little bit neater, clean my shit up when I leave, but. So I think we might get a little bit more efficiency in there. I don't know. I don't know, but it will be, and they're going to pay. Like he offered to buy them,
out, pay them the rest of their salary for the year.
all of them out. Yeah,
I mean,
and so many of them had other jobs, were working remote. Of guys, band come in once a month, and so
double dip, man. Yeah.
Well, you heard about the people who were receiving their Social Security benefits all the way up until 150
years
old.
Right? I was like, shit.
What the hell is going on? Like, how is this? Like,
everything is approved. They said everything was approved. They didn't question anything. Everything was on auto pay, and they just didn't. They just approved everything. And I was like, well, shit. I wish I would have known that. I would have got on that train. Like,
right? That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, like, what? I mean, I got grandparents.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like, wild.
I just don't.
It's just wild, and it's like, and that's my thing. Like, it happened so fast that he found all that stuff so fast. Like, you can't help but think that nobody ever looked. Nobody ever even looked.
Oh man, it's
like that's what I was talking
about.
Nobody
wanted to look, man.
Nobody.
I mean, everybody found their little spot where they could do their own little grift. And they, they locked in their own little, look, you have, Congress people who are making stock trades after they pass legislation. And I guarantee you, if you look at their stock trades, a lot of them probably are associated with companies you've never heard of that are established specifically to receive government funds.
Right.
And they buy stock in it. And then as those companies just receive government funds as revenue,
matching
all of a sudden
campaign donations somewhere in there too. Like,
I'm sure that happens too. But in the, but as the value starts to rise, as the rest of the market starts to take note of a company that's making profits, then all of a sudden these Congress people who bought in on this, this organization that was specifically designed to receive government money, all of a sudden the value of their stocks start going through the roof,
So what do you think happens? And this is kind of on a more global, not global, but a bigger scale. So the government gets kind of somewhat ish cleaned up as good as it can, because we know it's never going to get.
He's only got a limited amount of time, right? He's only got so much time.
Yeah. It's just not going to ever reach, purity.
No, but sure.
That's going to push so many people into the workforce. Are they going to be, and with inflated numbers and high, all the other things on top of the tariffs, which that'll have an easing effect over time. Initially, it's going to be everybody's going to use that as the COVID excuse,
right?
Because I've already heard it that being something to get ready in construction and metal and everything else.
Right.
They're prefacing it on that. Does this drive wages up, down? I can't. I mean, because I just don't understand. I don't know what.
It's hard to say because
completely redirect the workforce. I mean, the saying is,
do we have a workforce?
Doesn't exist in 5 years. So what? Like, how the hell are we going to manage all these extra people?
See, I don't think we're going to have extra people, because I think we're short people now, and then we have.
Well, we are.
You have a whole generation of people who don't do anything. They don't want to work, and they just sit at home and look on their phone. And like, there's a whole generation. You got a generation of kids that don't even want a driver's license.
Yeah.
Like, I've got relatives 20, 21 years old that has no desire to get a driver's license and just sit in a room and at a parent's house and watch your phone. And I worked at an insurance company for a while, and I was astounded at the number of people, they're adding this kid to their policy at 22 years old because he just got his driver's license. I mean, that was like unbelievably amount. I couldn't believe it.
As a parent who has, 3 very quality kids, I just relish in hearing this about segments of the workforce. I'm like, dude, then my kid's just going to blow by you.
Right.
At the end of the day.
That's what I told my grandson. I got a grandson, 17, and I was like, just shit, you'll kick ass just because
you show up
he shows up on time. He goes to work, he does his work, and he shows when he's on time. He shows up 5 to 10 minutes early for anything. Anytime he comes over here, he does whatever I tell him to meet be there at 8 o'clock. He's there at 10 till or 5 till.
It's like that.
Kick
It's like that girl who was at our meeting yesterday.
Which one?
That girl is going to the young little girl who's in high school.
Oh, that young girl.
That girl is going to mop the floor with kids. Like, I don't care if she's a
right.
If she is a C plus B minus student. I don't care. That girl is going to mop the floor with her classmates because she's out there going and getting it right now. Like right now.
Right.
She's like, I'm not even waiting to find a job. I'm
Bill.
making my own job. I'm like, yeah, dude, this girl's got some stuff figured out.
And
I mean,
she said, because she goes, oh, I'm still in school. I go, well, not today. She's like, yeah, I went to my first class and then come over here. And I was laughing because I was like, yeah, I remember cutting school when I was a sophomore, but I wasn't going.
It wasn't to go do business.
Doing that shit. Like I was,
It was not to go do business.
So I was like, no. But I mean, I know her mom, and that's how she got there. Because mom texted me and said, "Hey, can she come to this meeting?" I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
She's a great kid. I mean, she just like sat down. She sat next to Bill, who's 60 whatever too.
She fit right in, man.
Talking fit right. It's like she's just like one of the gang, and just
was not intimidated.
No, not at all. And it was great. And it was like, and she's like, I mean, just saying that she'll go out and knock on doors and hang door hangers. Shit, I got real estate agents that I work with that have been in the business for years that won't do that. And and like I've had agents where I'll go out, like they want me to come to their open house, right? They want me to sit at their open house for 3 hours. And I always ask them, like, what have you done to market this thing? You're just gonna stick a sign in the yard at 11:45 and then have a noon thing? Or have you done anything to go out and like, and they're like, most of them are like, well, what do you mean? I put it on Facebook. So like, I'm like, no, let's go beat on doors, like knock in the neighborhood. And they just, some of them look at you glazed over, like, what are you talking about? And so like, I have gone out physically, like, come on, let's go. And like, take them to the door, like, watch, right? This is what you do. Bang, bang, bang. Here's your loan officer out here going, here, come on, let me show you how to sell this house. And like, it's ridiculous. But so her being 16, coming to a meeting and then saying, yeah, I'll go knock on doors for you.
She's going to get clients from that.
I was actually looking at her thing right now because I was going to tell her, I was going to talk to her mom and tell her that she should like come up with a package thing, like for flyers, because real estate agents, like, so, she's got an hourly rate on here, but like, she came up with the thing, said like, I'll go put 100 flyers out for you, or 100 flyers or door hangers or whatever for $80. Right?
Figure out how long it takes you to hand out 100 brochures.
How much time it's going
to take, and then give them a cut deal. So it's a package deal. Here's your flyers, and it's going to take.
I'll do this area. You're in this area. I will do it for however many bucks. And
give them a flat rate so you can invoice them.
Like, they'll fucking do that.
Yeah.
Yes. And I go, they'll do that all day long. And she could just be out there beating the street.
Believe me, I'm going to give her a call. I don't know exactly what I want her to do for me, but I mean, I was impressed. I was like, I'm going to give her a call. I don't know exactly what we'll do and what we'll come to, but yeah, dude, that girl's a go-getter, and finding people who want to do that kind of stuff is awesome.
She sounds like she's smart enough where she'll do it for a little while, get her face beat in or hated or whatever, and then recruit other people to go do it for her with her.
Yeah, but she already
and do twice the amount or 3 times, 4 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah, so her mom's an insurance agent, and her mom's getting ready to open up her own agency. So she also said that too. She's like, well, I'm gonna get my license when I turn 18. I'll get my insurance license when I turn 18. So she said that yesterday at the thing too. So, so her mom's getting ready to do that. So she'll probably work for her mom, be an agent. And start at you're 18 years old, start as an insurance agent. Jesus.
I wish somebody would have directed me either insurance or real estate or something like that before I went to college. Because this is what I told my kids to do. Now, neither one of them listened to me before they went to college. They just went and did the college thing. But I told them both that they should go get a real estate license because you can do it anywhere. I said, go get that real estate license. Once you got that, you have a job that will pay you very good money. And then after you've established yourself as with your real estate license, then go to college and study whatever the hell you want. pay for it.
And you'll actually know a little bit of what you want to do more.
Exactly.
Because by the time you have a little real world experience. And I just had that kind of discussion with my grandkids. They're 16 and 17. We went to breakfast. They were out of school Monday. And I was talking, I said, my granddaughter wants to be a teacher, which to me is just like,
my daughter's a teacher.
So is my daughter. Her mom's a teacher.
Yeah.
And I was like, but whatever.
My wife.
And yeah, I'm just like, why the hell would you ever want to do that? But okay. But I told her, I go, if you're going to do that, like, we need to get you some rental property.
And that's
so you've got some income coming in, and then you want to teach and have a great time. But like,
and that's what I've told my daughter too. And she's starting to pursue ideas of what she wants. Because she is an artist, right? I mean, she went to art school.
I duplex.
And right. But she went to art school and she does photography. So, she may not do the real estate thing. She's looking at maybe doing, wedding photography and family photography for people or something like that. It's like, that's fine. I don't really care what the thing is, but you better be using those summer vacations to actually start yourself a real money maker. Like, I don't mind you becoming a teacher. You like doing it. You like being around the kids. It gives you a good starting income, because starting income for a public school teacher is really close to starting income for a doctor or a lawyer. But the difference is their rates don't go up like lawyers and doctors do. Right?
Yeah, right. They scale.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm like, so find the thing you want to do during those summer months and really start building yourself a business during those summer months, because you don't have jack shit to do. And so
my big thing, I do a lot of first time home buyers, and I tell them if they're young and they don't have a bunch of kids, or even if they got one, I push them hard. Like, you really need to look at buying a duplex. Buy a duplex. You can get in for FHA for 3.5% down, or you can get 3% down. You can get, they'll pay part of your rent. Like, we can get off into like why you shouldn't use their money to pay the rent, but use it to pay the place down. But you could actually do that. You only got to stay there for 1 year, and then you could do it again. And so it's like, if you did that a time or two, like if you did it twice, you'd have 4 units right there. There's could be, if you're in Blue Springs, at least maybe 60 grand a year in income right there. So, and then buy your house, and then, all that stuff. And then later on, my dad's got a duplex, half a duplex in Overland Park that he bought, 84, maybe. Like, the thing was 25, I think he paid 25 grand. It's right over at 95th and Antioch. And
damn.
I think we're getting ready to sell it for 2.25. So it's been rented since 1985, I think, in 1985, 1984. I don't even know. And it's funny because he bitches about, he had to redo it. Like, he had a hoarder in there for she was in there for 7 years.
Oh, that's awful.
She paid, and he left her in there. But so when she left, he had to spend, 20 or 30 grand. He was bitching, that's more than I paid for the place. I was like, right. But she paid for it again. And then that, it's whatever. But anyway, that's my big push for a lot of young kids. I get on them when they want to buy a house. I'm like, hold on, don't buy this $400,000 house yet. Let's buy something else. Let's buy this duplex and try to at least get a little. Not everybody's cut out for that, but if you get it, at least put it in their mind. I feel like I just feel better about myself if I at least put that out there, because nobody ever told me that. Right.
Yeah, no. That's I mean, well, when we were coming up, I mean, me and Zach went to high school together. When we were coming up, dude, I mean, there was no creativity in helping kids find a path.
No,
there was one path. It was go to college, take out your loans, and just go to college. You'll figure it out when you get there.
Get a good job.
Yeah, and then once you go to college, you'll get a good job. And
and home was just survival, because that's just all they knew. Just survive. And school didn't teach you anything. So
and it's just I don't know. There were so many better ways to have been instructed on how to come out of high school and start your life. And I just, as an older man now, I feel like, man, I would have made different choices had I been provided. I don't even want to say been provided, but I'm just saying, that just wasn't the way.
It was there. We just didn't seek it
We
out.
didn't seek it out, and it wasn't really presented to us as a really one of the better
Yeah.
options. You know what I mean? I can't pretend like it wasn't marketed to us. Like, you've got to go to college, because that's all we heard growing up.
And I'll tell you, like, one of the thing with the TikTok thing and Instagram and stuff like that, one thing I have noticed is there are a lot of that are learning about investing in real estate. And so there's a lot of them that are getting this stuff. Now, the side thing on that is that a lot of them are seeing all the shit that you can just like jump in and do it. I'm gonna buy an apartment complex, right? And so
Right.
that's the downside to it. But it is getting mined. I've seen there's a lot of them that are doing it, and so are looking at it. At least they're younger, they're talking about it. So
and that's something else that because the young people are very much into Bitcoin and crypto. And I'm not a big crypto guy. I'm a Bitcoin only guy. But one of the things, especially in the Bitcoin community, I don't know, like I said, I don't know so much about the crypto side of things, but the Bitcoin community, as you learn about Bitcoin, you quickly move from a short time preference mindset to a long time preference mindset. And as you move into that longer term preference of a mindset, you start looking at the entire world differently, and the way you want to go about your business, because you look at it as, one of the things I learned when I was coming up through college was that, like, the Japanese look at things completely different than Americans, and Americans are much more immediate in there. And Japanese people look at it as like, what is this going to do for my family generations down the road type of thing, right? And that is something that is very predominant within the Bitcoin community. And because it really, if you own Bitcoin and you own Bitcoin like in 2022, while it was falling to $15,000 from $62,000, but you held on and kept going, and now you're sitting here and it's at like 90, 95, 100, you understand what time preference does for you. You know what I mean? And the crypto guys are much more the type, they're like, I'm in it to trade. I want to make my quick buck, pull it out and keep going, keep it moving. And you look at the people, and this industry is very popular amongst young people. I think we're going to see a very big shift in consumer behaviors as this younger generation starts moving into their spending years and their accumulation period, because it's going to happen, and they're going to be different than the way we dealt with shit. Because we always had a depreciating dollar. It didn't make a lot of sense to save it, especially if you didn't have enough to save it to make it worth saving. You were better off buying something, because it was just going to be more expensive tomorrow. And I think this recent bout of inflation has really showed that to people. Like, your little slips of paper with presidents' faces on them are really just slips of paper. They really don't have any real value to them. They're just
Correct.
slips of paper. And people who start getting into Bitcoin start realizing what the true meaning of value is, and that's going to be true in real estate. That's going to be true in stock markets and bond market and all of those things. And you got a whole new generation of kids who are learning about it differently, and they're not learning about it from the textbooks that they were taught. It's going to be a different world.
So you're able to come at this from, I'm a big just blockchain guy in general. And you say you're more like heavy on Bitcoin.
I'm a maxi. I'm a Bitcoin only guy.
So do you have an uncle or something that's in art dealing or whatever? Is that right?
Man, my brothers.
Yeah. So that kind of correlate. They kind of correlate a little bit, because
I don't
want to say they're the same, but they have some same of what you're talking about, the same principles as far as over time.
Yeah, gaining value over time. Yeah,
they're going to gain value. I think a lot of people miss that whole, or maybe they're not picking up on it as early as maybe you were able to, because of that art
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I mean,
conscious art reference that you know.
I had a focus on finance when,
Yeah.
when I was going through college and going through my graduate school, with my MBA. So, I mean, that's probably where I get, the overwhelming majority of it. Cause when I was studying that's when I started getting into studying things like, what the Federal Reserve does, and you start learning where that came from. You start understanding how fractional reserve banking works and how money's actually generated into the economy. You start figuring those things out and start understanding, how those numbers work. You start understanding really fast that having, a number in your bank account representing dollars is not really proving anything. That the only things that hold value are the real things.
Did you see where they came out the other day and they said that it was costing 3 cents to make a penny?
It's been that way for a long
It
time.
was costing us.
It's been that way for.
That was like, well, I never saw the actual.
That's
like,
why there's
number,
no copper and pennies
where it was
anymore.
like,
Somebody had
Because
said
copper's too expensive.
right.
Yeah, I'd heard that it was yesterday, I think, and somebody had said, I forgot I was going to look it up, that Trump had ordered to stop getting them.
That's what it was. And even like the
Can you do
nickels,
that?
it was costing 11 cents or something to make a nickel. And
Well, yeah, but the one thing about nickels, never get rid of your nickels. It's the only American money with real silver in it. It's the only American money that is actually worth more than the face value of the coin. Quarters, half dollars, silver dollars, they none have silver content in them. They stopped putting silver content in all of American coinage except for the nickel in 1960. That's why if you go digging through old bags of coins, you'll never find ones that are from 1960 or earlier, because the economy, they stripped them all out of the economy. People held on to them, said, screw that, I'm not spending that. That's got real silver in it. Now it's illegal to melt down American currency, so you can't do that. But in the event that everything goes to shit, then I'll have a bag full of nickels at least.
Right.
I mean, you can convert. Yeah, you could sell them for whatever they are, $20 or $25 a piece or something.
Exactly.
And the quarters, like you could sell quarters that are 64.
Oh yeah, it's 64. I think it's 64, not
64.
And but even that, those aren't even like they call them like junk silver. And then because they have some in there. Yeah, they have some in there, but not a whole lot. But they're worth some. You can get them.
Oh yeah,
you can get them. But
absolutely. All right, guys, we got like 10 minutes left before the top of the hour.
I'm ready for my nap.
I know that feeling. It's a nice snowy day. It's a perfect day for a nap. It's gonna be nice and quiet. So
I should have snow shovel out there, but
I got to do that soon too. I hear it's light and fluffy.
It was this morning, but I've got a snowblower. I mean, go out there, but I'm really not in the mood.
Yeah, well, I got a 12-year-old, so I guess we're probably going to tag team.
I got a wife. Maybe I'll try that this time.
You ever seen that meme? You ever seen that meme where it says the wife standing at the window, and she says, I'm going to take a stand for women's rights. And then the next picture, it shows her husband out there shoveling the driveway. And then it goes back to her and it says, tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got one for you. Do you guys have additional products and services that you can offer with what you offer as your business? The reason I ask is because the statistic is, and I don't know if we talk about that 34% of people will buy again from you at the time that you produce that sale or whatever it is.
Like if you add on,
like an add-on, an additional whatever it is, 34%. Now, again, statistics can be made however you want them, but there is definitely a percent that's true too.
Well,
I believe that because every time you buy something, they're like, "Hey,
yeah, Yeah,
Wait, there's more.
yeah, it's like, well, it's just like the grocery store, it's you're standing in line and all that shit next to the lines that, that's
I
where
mean,
probably where a majority of that
Right.
percent comes from.
I have an affiliation with my solar company. Does that count? Like I can help people get solar panels. I don't know. I mean, it's not really associated with the travel business or anything, but
That
it's,
is
I mean,
Well, I guess if you could, I mean,
I
it's an
don't know.
offer.
Right. I
It's an
don't,
affiliate offer.
yeah. I mean, it's not, I like my solar panels. I'm happy with my solar panels. But yeah, I mean, that's like, I have a few other ideas of some things that I want to do that, cause a lot of what I want to do, cause the travel companies are kind of like the revenue base. Like it's kind of what, how I want to generate revenue, but I kind of want to have a cultural idea, like where we're trying to get people to get together and hang out more often, kind of like Mike's networking group, but I don't want them all to be networking groups where we're just talking about business. I'd like for us to have like a group that gets together and just, has a Friday night happy hour or something,
Right.
And so being able to provide that venue, and kind of, make that part of what I'm doing here with the, the live streams and the podcasts and stuff, and kind of, I don't know, blend all that together. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for me to sell different stuff in that environment, but I just haven't kind of gotten it all fully fleshed out yet. So that's for me. I don't know about Mike. I don't know what other things he has to offer other than mortgages.
No, just exotic dancing.
Are you the dancer?
That would probably sell more.
I'm the dance for quarters.
Well, no.
So
I dance for quarters. Jazz hand.
pre-64 quarters from them first.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, what is do you have a secondary special service there, Zach?
I guess to a one-on-one, you get a whole video library series. Of course, that's kind of part of it anyway. But
that's kind of what I was wondering about, like my travel stuff. It's like
so there's a whole video series. I mean, there's over 200 hours of videos with workbooks and all that kind of stuff, so you can kind of do stuff on your time, and have somebody help pull you through some of the stuff that maybe you need help with. So I guess so. I mean, that's kind of an adder, but you really don't get a choice. I mean, you get that's part of the deal. So
I also have travel insurance. I can sell travel insurance, travel protection.
Something. Yeah,
you sell a lot of that. I'm just I'm like.
Not as much as I like. I find real value in it though, right? And not just the insurance salesman in me finds value in it. Like because there's two, like you can get the travel protection like from the supplier. Like if you book a cruise or whatever, the cruise line's going to have an offer of travel protection for you if you want to buy it, right? It's usually the least expensive, most cost effective travel protection, but it really only covers you if you cancel your trip, right? Or if you get,
and is it going to refund it if you go through them, or is it just going to use?
No, they usually refund you. I mean, it depends on the policy, on how the policy reads out. But for when people travel out of the country, right? I really recommend travel insurance if you're traveling out of the country, because well, not only that, man, do you want to go to the Cancun hospital? I don't want to go to the Cancun hospital.
Mm-mm. I don't want to go to the Blue Springs.
There's that too. But I know this. Let me put it to you this way. I was in Puerto Vallarta, and it was right in the middle of COVID. And I had already had my nasal swab and my temperature reading, and I was cleared to fly back to the United States after a wonderful week at an all-inclusive, right? Later that day, we went out on an excursion. We went swimming in the jungle and all kinds of cool stuff. And we came back, had dinner, went back to the room. I wake up in the middle of the night, the day before we were leaving. I wake up in the middle of the night with a huge fever, like 100, 101 degrees.
One of them things in the river got you.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's what ended up happening.
Swim up your willy.
And I'm thinking I'm infected and everything else. I managed to down like all of the ibuprofen and everything I could take to drive my temperature down. right? So I did, because they had heat scanners when you walk through,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a fever, dude, you were fucking screwed, dude.
Yeah.
There was no getting around it. And so, I had taken all the kinds of medicine, and I felt like ass. But man, nothing made me happier. I was like, I don't care if they keep me or whatever else. Once I landed in Houston, I was like, I don't care. I don't care. You can tell me I can't fly home. You can tell me whatever. Just I made it back to American soil, and
I can rent a car.
Yeah, I don't care. But man, I did not want to end up having to go to like a Mexican hospital. I was like,
no, I got
so
that's
on
scary.
travel insurance. If you buy third-party travel insurance, you'll find insurance that'll give you like $50,000 in medical coverage, $500,000 in medical coverage. Coverage to fly you back to the States, right? Because I mean, in foreign countries, there's a lot of hospitals. Unless you pay them, they'll let you bleed out right there on the damn sidewalk. They'll be like, "No, sorry, you can't pay me." Tough.
That story should be part of your pitch to sell insurance every.
It is. It is for sure. But yeah. I mean, nobody wants to be stuck down there, and I'm not even saying there aren't foreign countries that have good medical systems, but at the end of the day, I trust my medical system. I'm not familiar with your medical system. And when the doctors don't speak my language,
I don't trust our medical system.
Well,
but I sure as hell don't want to be some Mexican hospital somewhere.
And that, like, I mean, the trust only goes so far, I should say, but
I don't even go to Mexico.
Oh no, I love Mexico. Mexico's great.
Period.
Mexico's great. I love Mexico.
I don't have any desire to go. If I get kidnapped, like ain't nobody gonna pay the ransom. That's the problem. Like they'll be like,
that's why they're not going to kidnap you.
No,
you don't want somebody that can't get nothing out of.
That's why I'm too fat to kidnap.
I can just hear Juan down there. He's like, "Hey man, you gonna get a ransom for this guy?" Like, nobody wants him, man. Like, well, I don't want to feed him either.
They keep hanging up. They keep hanging up.
Like, he's like, dude, we can't afford to keep feeding this guy. If nobody's gonna pay us for him,
right?
Send him on down the road.
He's an asshole.
He's not even nice to us, man. All right, guys. Mike, tell us who you are, where you're from, and
Blue
we'll
Springs. Right.
In Blue Springs.
Go to MikeFoot.com, fill out a loan application, get a best mortgage you can get.
There you go. MikeFoot.com.
MikeFoot.com.
You see it right there on the screen. FOOT.
Right there. Don't forget the E, but you can forget the E because I also own that domain as well.
Oh, nice. Well done. Well played, sir.
So, okay. Loan off for the stars. Come be a star. Get along.
There you go. Zach.
FlowStrategic.com. Do 45 minute to 1 hour business assessments free of charge. Ours went way longer than that, but we talked about other stuff. But
yeah,
I like keep it to 45 minutes to an hour, and it doesn't matter what kind of business you are. There is profits to be found inside of your business.
Fantastic. I'm Eric Tiemann. My business is Livin Life and Style Travel. I would love to help you plan a cruise. I am rolling out a program for group trips as charitable fundraisers. So if you know somebody who is part of a charitable organization or is trying to do some level of fundraiser, we are talking about the potential of thousands of dollars in charitable money being raised, and I would love to talk to you about it. 816-744-1405 or livinlifeandstyle.com. Guys, I appreciate you guys being out here with me this week. I will send out the invites for next week, and hey, like I said, if you got friends who want to join, who want to hop on a Wednesday,
maybe I can log on next week.
Yeah, well, we'll iron out the details as we go along, and we got to figure out Mike's.
How do I find the link? How do we find the link to replay it? Is it
to replay this?
What do you edit it?
Oh no, this goes up live on my YouTube channel. You can go to my YouTube channel, Livin Life, and it's just youtube.com/livinlifeandstyle. I also play it on my Facebook page, so it would be under my Facebook profile under videos. Gotcha. I'm probably going to move this cool. I'm probably going to move this business roundtable video. I'm probably also going to add a stream onto LinkedIn as well. So I figure it's a business roundtable. We probably
you're fancy. You're fancy like that.
I'm,
all right. Cool.
I'm excited about it.
I'm going to eat my lunch.
It's been great. You guys have a great day, and we will talk next week.
Yeah, man.
All right.